Hi, it's Lauren, and I wanted to make a really quick video today on my new favorite way to make zucchini noodles. So I have always been really indifferent about zucchini noodles. I've kind of been like, oh, they're okay. And I was starting to resort to eating kelp noodles more often just because I didn't like the texture or taste of zucchini noodles, and I also felt like they diluted the flavor of the dressing a lot of the time. So I would try to dehydrate them, but that didn't really work for me too well either. And so recently I figured out a new way to make zucchini noodles, and now I love them. They're like my favorite noodles now. So I wanted to share how I make zucchini noodles with you. I'm going to be showing a more a way that takes a little bit more time, but the texture is really a little bit better, and it's like my favorite way. And then I'm going to show you a quick way to do it, like a lazy way to do it. So I'm going to show you two different ways, and I'm going to just get started. I'm not going to, maybe I won't do all of these zucchinis, or maybe I will, and I'll just speed up the video or something. But okay, so I actually learned, I'll start with my favorite way first. So John, I live with John Kohler. He made a video with Marcus Rothkrantz, and Kara Brotman came over when they made the video, and she brought us a noodle dish, and it was so good, and the noodles were so amazing. I couldn't even recognize what they were, so John asked what they were, and they said it was zucchini noodles. So I went online to try to see how they made them, and then I kind of found out what they did. So I do something similar to that, although I do it a little different. I do it my own little variation on that. So this is definitely inspired by Kara Brotman, and I will like forever make my zucchini noodles differently from here on out. So here it is. So basically, I normally use a spiral slicer like this. This will be the lazy way I'll show you. But the way I've been doing lately is cutting a zucchini in half. These are yellow zucchinis. So I'll cut the top and the bottom off of one half. And I'll take a potato peeler and I'll peel the skin off. You don't have to peel the skin off. It's more for looks, so that it looks like noodles. But there's nutrients in the skin, so if you want to leave it on, that's perfectly fine. But I'm going to go ahead and peel off the skin. Alright, so I've peeled off the skin, just like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the potato peeler, and I'm going to just slice off one noodle at a time, and I'm just going to keep doing it in the same spot until I start to see the seeds. And then I'm going to stop a little bit after I start seeing the seeds on the zucchini. And then once I start seeing a good amount of seeds, I'll flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So that's probably enough for this side. So it is a little more time consuming, but you'll see at the end how the noodles look, and they just taste, I think they taste a whole lot different from doing it in any spiralizer. So I go a little bit past after I start seeing the seeds, but then once you get into a lot of seeds, it's kind of starts falling apart. So anyway, I might do that, and then I'll do it on the sides as well last. Just careful, just make sure your hand is out of the way. So I'll do this until I see the seeds, and then I'll be left with the little core of the zucchini. Alright, so I just finished. I just made all the noodles right here, and you'll have these thick pieces, and you'll see why this is a little time consuming, but I will tell you I feel like it's worth it, especially if you're making this for a lot of other people, and maybe people who aren't used to zucchini noodles. So I take all the thick pieces, and then I will slice them into long, skinnier noodles. They'll still be nice fettuccine kind of style noodles. And then I'll have all these noodles right here. So I'm going to put these in a bowl. So that's pretty much it for that one. And now, the other problem I had with zucchini noodles before was that they were too watery and they diluted the dressing. So what I learned, what I like to do is add just a pinch of salt. And this is actually something I got from Kara Brotman. So just a pinch of salt. This is Seasons 90 salt. It has a little less sodium than most salts. So just a tiny bit. And then what that does, I'll massage it in, is it brings out the moisture of the noodles. So a lot of moisture will be let out of these noodles and they'll get more noodly. The texture will change. It's going to have a hint of saltiness, but you really don't have to use a whole lot of salt. And normally I would use that much salt with the whole zucchini, but I'm just doing this really quick today just to show you. So I'll just massage that and let it sit. And then I'll just show you the lazy way to do it if you want to do this in less time. The core I usually compost or I feed it to my dog because he really loves zucchinis. So the other way is I'm just going to cut this because it's curved. You can take, I think this is called a veggetti, and you have a thin option or a thick option. I'll go with the thick option today. And you can just spiralize as normal, like so. But still, I didn't like it, I think because they were too watery before. And I just didn't like that. So I am going to add a little bit of salt and just massage it in and let it sit. So this is the quicker way that you can do it, but the texture won't be quite as exciting. So you have these zucchini noodles here, and to draw out the excess moisture contained in the noodles, I just add a pinch of salt and massage it into the zucchini a little bit. And then it'll become much more noodly. The texture will be much more noodly, and it'll be less watery once we wring out the noodles at the end. Okay, so let's come back to the first batch of noodles that I sliced with the potato slicer. These have gotten really, they've kind of marinated in the salt for a little bit. The size of the noodles has gone down, and now there's a little bit of excess moisture in the noodles. So what I like to do for the final step is wring them out. So I'll take like a little handful and I'll wring it out. And you'll see a lot of liquid come out. So this is the final step. And I just do this with the rest of them. Just wring them out. And yeah, you'll have like less volume from this, but the noodles taste so good. It's like a different noodle. I can't even really tell it's zucchini anymore after this. And just wring it out and put it in a bowl until you're done. So that's my new way of making zucchini noodles. And yeah, I do usually have to use more zucchinis now because it's not as bulky as it was before, but it also, I notice, doesn't dilute the flavor of the dressings I use on it, and it's just amazing texture-wise and flavor-wise and everything. So this has been sitting. So you can do the same thing with the lazy version of, making these noodles. These noodles kind of look kind of fun, So just marinating in salt, just a little bit of salt. Let them get really floppy and let some of the water get drawn out of them from the salt. And then you can do the same thing. You can just take little handfuls and wring them out. Wring out the excess moisture once it's been brought out by the salt. And then that's it. You're good to go. So I could just do the rest of these. Alright, so that's pretty much it. So you learned my favorite way to make zucchini noodles with the potato peeler, and then the more time efficient way with the spaghetti, or maybe a normal spiralizer. You could do this with too. So I really like this. I really like bringing out the excess moisture with the salt. Just a little bit of salt and then wringing them out. And yeah, you can see how much moisture just was collected from those zucchinis. So I hope you like this video. I highly recommend giving this method a try, and yeah, just see what you think. See if you like these more than just straight up spiralizing and eating them. I definitely do, especially the potato peeler method. Like, that's what I've been doing lately, but if I'm in a rush, I wouldn't mind using this sometimes. Alright, so that's today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.